listeners. Thank you for being a part of the Compassionate Capitalist movement. This week is a big week for me. Release of my second book, right? You see the one y'all watching, you can see my banner behind, but the Inside Secrets to Angel Investing, not quite a decade ago, but it was what launched this whole movement, right? Uh, and this week is such a big week for me. So it's a release of my second book and the launch of the reimagined digital financial literacy platform now called the Compassionalist Academy. Compassionate, capitalist, compassionalist. My own new word. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, more on all of that later because I just really want to set the stage here. You're going to get, if you listen to the end, you're going to get a discount as being one of my followers or subscribers on these podcasts. And this is going live right now to YouTube and LinkedIn. I think, cross my fingers, you never quite know it. Riverside works that way, but we are trusting the technology. So, and I really appreciate you even if you don't know, this show, the Compassionate Capitalist Show, has hit number 20 on the Apple Podcast for the subcategory of business and investing, business slash active, business. I'm up in the 100 on that, but for investing in number 20. And oh my goodness. So, I couldn't do it without you folks that are listening and share this and like it and all that kind of stuff. And it means so much to me because this is such a huge part of my platform to spread awareness about the power of investing in entrepreneurs to create wealth for the entrepreneurs and for yourself when you choose to do that. All right. And as I usually do, I get off script because I'm just so passionate about this, right? So if you're hearing this for the first time, thank you. Welcome and perfect timing because today I'm going to take you a little bit behind the scenes of my own journey, how I discovered the secret world of angel investing, the challenges I've seen, and why I'm so passionate about opening this opportunity to everyone. If you've ever thought investing in startups isn't for me, or I don't have the money, the smarts, or the time, then this episode is for you. And stick around so you can hear how you get the discount on both the book, Inside Secrets to Crowdfund Investing. There's more to that title that you'll hear in a minute. And the amazing Compassionalist Academy, offering course content for investors at their very beginning of their journey, all the way to advanced for angel and crowdfund investing. Because, and if some of you had checked it out or you were paying attention a year and a half ago when I launched the Compassionate Capitalist Wealth Maximizing System, now that's a tongue twister. I only had about 8 lessons in there. Can't hardly call that a course. There's literally like, I don't know, more than 70 in this what I'm launching, and more to come. This is just the getting started phase, right? This is the first piece, so everybody's got stuff to sink their teeth in on. So before I became famous for my prowess at educating angels on the best practices to create wealth in entrepreneurs and for entrepreneurs raising capital to actually get the capital, because I've talked lots about that, but they like, yeah, sometimes they need help. Uh, but they need capital to launch and grow, right? So before all that, I worked for IBM on teams that were bringing innovations to the market, ranging from the launch of PS2 and OS2, some may remember those, through mobile and wireless and even pen based technology, handwriting recognition. Everybody takes that for granted now, but it used to be really a big deal and very novel. And I introduced whole segments of, the last mile to that kind of computing technology that had not been there before, and negotiating all the contracts that IBM entered into with packaging product and services offerings that integrated other people's wireless. IBM had some for a while, but then they discontinued that, like, they do when they're a big they think only about mainframes. But it was like in the first year, we booked 30 million in revenue, which would have been pretty hot as a startup. Of course, we had the muscle of IBM behind us, but we were really making waves there, right? And I moved on up the food chain to be a complex opportunity business manager. There you go. COBM was the acronym for that, with a mission to evaluate and deemed worthy for IBM to invest in startups with novel tech, e-commerce, click and mortar. Remember click and mortar? That was before you really had e-commerce, when stores tried to sell online. Click and mortar. And the first version of was now considered SaaS, right? Cloud-based computing was something else. I can't. I didn't have it in my notes, but and so, they could. So these companies that I was screening, cultivating, helping, could go out and get venture capital and come back and spend it with IBM, because they had already figured out that they were missing out on the Amazons and the eBays and all that stuff, because IBM, only really had face to face reps and really gave you the time of day if you had a mainframe. So a lot of these early startup tech companies would standardize on somebody else's uh, technology, and then it was hard to move them off. So they wanted to get much earlier on, and that was before the dot com bubble, right? And I teased that I was in my own little bubble of IBM because a client of mine that had followed me through various phases of my career, into mobile and wireless, and we do an amazing stuff with the software that he had developed with the help of IBM. And I learned a few things about. I left IBM to go help him in January 2000 to go to market. Okay, and to go to market, and I and